activity, what you're going to do is click the link for Eric the sheep, and this is a problem that you can do either on your own or with a partner. So the idea is that you've got this story. It's a hot summer's day, and Eric the sheep is at the end of a line of sheep waiting to be shorn. There are 50 sheep in front of him. Being an impatient sort of sheep, every time the shearer takes a sheep from the front of the line to be shorn, Eric is a bit sneaky and he sneaks up 2 places in the line. So the problem you're trying to solve is how many sheep will get shorn before Eric does. Now, it's really hard, this question, because 50 sheep is quite big. You'd have to actually sit there and draw 50 sheep. So what we do instead is we look for a pattern. We do that by using an interactive underneath. So this may ask you just to let it use Flash. Once that happens, what you'll need to do is press Start, and you can see there's a whole bunch of sheep here. Now, instead of doing this with 50 sheep, we're going to start off by starting with a smaller number of sheep in front of Eric and working our way up. So I'm going to use the arrows here just to reduce the number of sheep. So you can see there's 4 sheep in front of Eric. Eric's the grey sheep. And we're going to shear some sheep. So remember that Eric skips over 2 sheep every time a sheep is shorn. So we're going to press shear. So you can see the sheep at the front got shorn and Eric jumped over 2 places. I'm going to shear another sheep, and now Eric's at the front of the queue. So it's Eric's turn to be shorn. So you can see that this records how many sheep were actually shorn before Eric was. And there's a table underneath here that you can actually fill in as well. So you could probably do that in your book. So same thing when we want to try it again, this time with 5 sheep in front. You could predict first how many sheep are going to be shorn first before Eric. 1 sheep, 2 sheep, and then Eric's at the front. So that means that 2 sheep were shorn before Eric. So your job is going to be to fill in the table and then see if you can predict how many sheep are going to be shorn before Eric if you know how many sheep are in front of Eric. So we only go up to 11 here. What would happen if there were 12? What would happen if there were 50? And there is a tip here that you can click if you want a little bit of help with that. At the end of this, guys, the idea is for you to work through each of the problems, particularly this last problem here, which is describing strategies of how you solve the problem. So you're going to put this together either in your book or on a piece of paper. And there's a little video for you to watch as well, just with some other students talking about how they solved the problem. And then to make it, to finish it off, there's a table here that you can look at, which has bigger numbers of sheep in front of Eric. So if you think you know what that pattern is, can that pattern now help you predict how many sheep will be shorn before Eric? And you can show the answers to these too. So good luck. So this is the Eric the sheep problem.